James, how do you do the things you do? I still can't believe that it's true. I get hungry when I think of you. Like champagne and caviar, you're such a treat. Like cherries Jubilee, you're oh so sweet. You whet my appetite each time we meet. Oh, James, it's true. I get hungry when I think of you.
Breakfast, right? Now, maple syrup today. Everybody knows about maple syrup. You put it on hot cakes, pancakes, and that's about seems to be where most people's imagination stops. So let's make some nice things today, different things with maple syrup. All right. Now, the first thing I want to do, is make a cake, and this is the easiest cake he ever did make. It is not one of those dietary cakes, and if people want to know how you can use less and less of everything, the answer is you can't, because this is a cake that you're going to make in a hurry, make it in a fry pan, and it's dead easy. It's really simple. You heat up the fry pan, all right, and you get yourself about a quarter cup of butter and put it in the fry pan, on the heat, and that's it. You put in with the butter, we better stir it around a bit so it sort of starts to melt, and you put in with the butter all the stuff that's going to be the upside down part of the cake. This is the bottom of it, and then you flip it over, you know, that's how you do it. So we just put it into the butter, a whole lot of pecan nuts. If you haven't got pecans, put walnuts in, all right? And a can of pears. Now, you have to drain the liquid off, otherwise it's going to be a soggy mess. But just dump in a can of pears like this and get it, keep the heat up high, get it going, and put in on top of this, this is the really interesting thing, a cup of maple syrup. And get lots of different kinds of maple syrup, and I find frequently that the cheapest ones are the best because they haven't been refined so much, and you know, they all come out of the trees. There's no sort of better quality, just finer, and people get fussy. So just put that in there and let it boil away and caramelize. Now, watch what happens. We're going to make ourselves we're going to make this topping. First thing we'll do is get some butter, about half a cup of butter, sort of mash it together, all right, like that. We got to put sugar with it. Now, you can take ordinary sugar, or you can take maple sugar. It's got a Canadian label on it. See, that's where it comes from Canadian maple trees. Right, and so we'll put in some maple sugar, and you cream it together. This is how you make any ordinary cake batter. You just cream this lot together with a fork, and if it doesn't go quickly enough with one fork, you put two forks in there. You just have to learn how to hold them. But see, it starts to go creamy. Now this is what we need to have, and it's picked up all the sugar, so you won't get pockets of sugar lying around. Give it a good old stir, then dump into it the flour, about a cup and a quarter of flour. Just stir it in some more. This you've got to mix. Some people have an electric beater, some people don't. Well, we haven't. No, we're doing this. You can do this at camp. You can do it anywhere because you can cook it in a fry pan. And look, you just do that. Get it all sort of in a crumbly dough, so everything's gotten touched by everything else, because you don't want little white pockets. And then when you've done that, 1 egg, and if you're in a hurry, 2 eggs, like that. And again, 2 eggs, 2 hands, no waiting. Right, stir it all around and mix it tight up together like that, right, till you've got a batter going. You want a little bit of vanilla flavor, if you like vanilla, you know, a couple drops. That's about all you need. And you need some baking powder. And I'm putting the baking powder in last because of the way that this is going to work. I'm going to sprinkle it over the top. About a tablespoonful of baking powder, and give it a really rapid stir to get everything in there. See, they call it double-acting baking powder because a little bit of it starts to work as soon as it gets in the moisture, and the other bit works when it gets hot. And we want a little bit of salt. A little bit of salt, that gives it a great flavor. And then as soon as you've got it mixed, this is going to start, it's just getting it mixed together. We now take this batter, and you'll need a scraper, and just dump it right on top of the bubbling, boiling mixture that's in there. All that nuts and maple syrup and butter and stuff like that. Just do that with it for the moment, and put the whole thing in the oven. Turn that off. Okay? You put it handle and all, but remember when you take it out, it's about 350 degrees. Put it in there and just walk away and leave it. I'm going to leave it in there. It's going to take about 20 minutes, but I'm going to be back in 2 and we do something else with maple syrup.
The Urban Peasant will be right back.
We got maple syrup show. We've got cake in the oven, upside down cake in a fry pan, all right? Now we're going to do a couple of other nice things that are different and great. This is something that I invented when I had my grandchildren over one weekend, and they kind of get into tofu. Tofu is a very peculiar thing that people don't understand. It's one of those things they don't know what to do with it. So let's work it out this way. Cut it into slices about ½ an inch thick. And tofu is all right if you put good things with it. And turn the slices over like that and cut it into strips like that. All right? You don't have to be too fussy about it, as long as they look roughly about the same size. All right. Now, I thought of this because there was once a very interesting sort of diet recipe which consisted entirely of tofu, cayenne pepper, and grapefruit juice. No, it wasn't tofu, I was right. It was cayenne pepper and grapefruit juice. That was the thing. So I thought I'd put these together in a fry pan and see what happened. So let me get that thing to fish those out of there with. This is just put the strips of tofu into the pan to fry. You just have to be a little careful with tofu that you don't break it up completely. Just put it in there and handle it gently. Just pop it in there like that. You can put, if you don't want to use oil, I use safflower oil, because it's good for you. You can use butter. Just put those in there and let them cook for a little while. Just let them cook and then we'll turn them over. While that's happening, I'll show you how to make a great dessert out of maple syrup. Really easy one again. Core an apple. See? That's how you do it, with a hole in there. And then cut it crosswise into about ½ inch, 1 centimeter thick slices, like donuts. Put them in a pan. Just put them in a pan like that. You get a bigger pan and you can put more in there, but we'll leave those in there for now, like that. All right. Now you put a few raisins around. It doesn't matter if they don't all go in the hole. That's just okay. That's fine. A little bit of butter, and put a little bit of butter on each one. Just a few bits of butter here and there. And So I'm using the back side of the knife, so I'm not blunting that by going on there. All right, and we'll put a bit more butter on there like that, and then it'll be good. All right, now we do a little bit of cinnamon, and to give it a little bit of flavor on the top like that. Cinnamon on it like that, and we get some maple syrup. We'll put a little bit of maple syrup on each one like that. Get a lemon, and we'll put some lemon juice on it like that, and then you just bung the whole thing in the oven. I'm going to turn these over first of all. Let me find a nice simple thing to turn these. This is a good thing. Okay, now we've fried this. You do it with butter. See, it's just gone golden on the other side. We'll turn it over. It's just lightly golden. This is really great. It surprised me. It's a really great breakfast dish. You just turn them over and fry. You don't have to make them crisp. Turn over. Some of these things don't want to cooperate. Turn over. This is worse than getting kids out of bed. Well, there you are. You just... There we go. See the golden bits coming up now. And then you sprinkle them with cayenne pepper. What did I do with the cayenne pepper? Here it is. And you sprinkle a little bit of cayenne pepper over the top like that. And as soon as they're hot, which they will be in a minute, you fish them out. I'm going to put these in the oven along with the cake. These will take about 15 minutes, so I'm just going to pop them in there right quick. Forget about them. Come back, and there we are, breakfast for kids. We got quickly fried golden tofu, really pretty. See, the heat's up high. Look at that one. When they get crisp like that, they're really, really nice. Very, very nice thing to do. And you put them on a plate. Keep the oil for using for the next batch, and then back on there, we'll put some more in, and you squeeze over the top grapefruit juice. They have never tasted anything quite like this, and neither of you. It's really, really nice, and that's what I'd like you to try and do. So, you know, we've got to put maple syrup on there, because that's what this is all about. A little maple syrup, a little cayenne, and a little grapefruit juice. That's the diet, I remember it now. Grapefruit juice, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper. It's supposed to be just great for everything and reduces weight. And it pleases kids. So you can put as much maple syrup as you like on there. I will be back in 2 minutes. Don't go away.
James will be back in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Here we are, more breakfast. Strips of tofu, right? Quick fried, like that. And then we put on top of it maple syrup, because this is maple syrup show. And a little bit of cayenne pepper. Even kids like this. It's really surprising. It gives you a little spark. And then over the top of it, you sprinkle some grapefruit juice. And that's that. It's a great breakfast. Now, we've got cake in the oven. Cake should be about cooked by now. And it's in the fry pan. So upside down. Don't forget that. Look at that. Just look at that, eh? Now, it's got to sit for 5 or 10 minutes before we take it out of there. So we'll just leave it to sit there, and then we'll flip it up, and that'll be it. Now, what I want to do right now, this is one of my favorite things to do, is just invent a dish with what we happen to have around. I had some chicken. I've got a fry pan, so we get the fry pan hot, all right? I've got some chicken thighs here. Now, I'm going to just move this out of here, then I can do what I'm going to do. Chicken thighs are probably the most economical piece of chicken you can buy. They have got good solid meat in them. They taste good. And if you want to take the skin off, fine. If you don't want to take the skin off, that's fine too. I'm going to cut these in half because I want them to. And look, I'll pull the skin off that one just to, you know, it's easy to cut the fat down. Cut this in half and cut this one in half and this one. You cut things up, so this one's got the bone still in it, right? So we just cut down the side of it. Look, there's that little bone inside there. Just cut down, take the bone out. That's all. That's how you do that. Put that over there. Fry pan. Now, if you've got chicken breasts that have got skin on, you put it in the hot fry pan with the skin side down, because there's skin. There's fat in the skin, and the fat will come out, and you won't be using a great, enormous amount of extra fat. And if you want to, you can pour it off. Just pop those in there, like that, to start to cook the chicken. Heat up high. Now, I'm going to take this knife over here, just wash my hands off. A little bit of detergent out of here. That's right. Wash my hands, and we'll just flip the board over because you have to be really careful about chicken boards and things like that. So there you are. Now we've got chicken in there. We had maple syrup, right? We had grapefruit, right? We had garlic, but we didn't use that before. We've got some currants that we put in the apples. We got some mustard, I didn't tell you about, and we got cayenne pepper. All right. We've got lots of green onions. In fact, let's use a red onion that we've got hanging around here. Turn that heat down a little bit. We'll cut the onion up into pieces very quickly. Cut them across, just like that, so they're in sort of halves. And push the chicken, flip the chicken over. See how it's gone brown underneath, right? Now it can cook more slowly. There we go. Put the onion in and give it a stir so that everything gets kissed by the hot fat. It's just getting things together, that's all. Let it all come together like that. And you've got a little bit of chicken fat in there. That's all you need. You don't need any more. You want some garlic crushed, a little bit of salt, a little bit of garlic, and you can just lean on it with your hand if you want to. And then you have to cut it up. But you need a good large knife blade or the heel of your hand to cut things up. Put the garlic in fair-sized chunks. Garlic and the salt and some pepper. All right. And the trick here is to keep the heat up high. And I'm inventing this as we go along, but sort of working on basic principles. And we've got the heat up high so that we're lightly charring things. This is how it would happen in a Chinese restaurant, because have the heat really up high in a wok. This isn't a Chinese dish. Don't have maple syrup, China. Now in go the raisins, because we had them, and they'll give it that nice sort of sweetness that comes out of it. We'll put some mustard in a minute. We never put citrus fruits in until you're ready for it. Green onions to make it pretty. Let's just get hold of this bunch of green onions, cut them, the white bits off in large lumps, and dump those in now, because they'll make it look great. Right, give it another stir, so that everything gets a sort of touch. Now, what do we go in there? What did we say this was? Maple syrup. So we put some maple syrup in there. Put a couple tablespoonfuls of maple syrup in with that chicken. We need cayenne pepper to give it the heat, give it some spiciness, sort of sweet and sour. But this is French-Canadian sweet and sour chicken. Right? Sour, we said sour. Little tiny bit of vinegar. Okay. Just like that. Little tiny bit. Give it a stir. Make sure everything starts to look sticky. And now look how that's happening. Look, see all the onions, they've all been cooked a little bit. You want some rice to go with this or something like that, but keep the heat up high. Keep it really going. And then finally, in goes, all right, and goes a tablespoonful of mustard. Just stir it around, the mustard and the sweetness and the graininess and that lovely stuff. And finally, what? Another grapefruit juice. Get yourself a great plate and a piece of parsley. Here's a great looking plate. I mean, it's a great dish. All right. There we are. Look at it. See how sticky and it's gorgeous going in there. Lovely stuff. There you are. You take this to the table and people will freak out because they don't know what it is. And when they get to taste it, they will think it's just the greatest thing they ever did. And you are the greatest cook. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Don't go away. James will be right back.
There's my baked apples with maple syrup, looking like little donuts with those little, like rabbits on top of them, you know, that's rabbit eggs. And now we'll put the cake, the upside down cake that we made in the fry pan, give it a little tap, and there we are is our upside down cake in the fry pan, and you put ice cream in the middle of that, which is just great. All right, now breakfast, tofu, grapefruit juice, and a little bit of cayenne pepper, and of course maple syrup. And finally, the thing that you and I and me made, all this thing which we made with what we happen to have. Chicken thighs, maple syrup, all the stuff that went in, everything else. Put it in there and put it together, and it tastes great. I had a taste of it during the break, but that's what you do with maple syrup. Well, there's some of the things you can do with maple syrup. When you're buying cut-up chicken, I know the breasts look great because they haven't got any bones in, but get some chicken thighs and just learn how to take the bone out yourself with a sharp knife. It's a great tasting meat and it's cheap. Well, we started at breakfast time, and like a lot of people at breakfast time, you just don't know what you're going to cook during the day, and that's what we did. We just got on with it and cooked some different things. The things you invent and the things you've got to make, that's the things that taste really good. See ya. Bye.